Welcome to Diverse Orange, our conversations about diversity here in Central Florida. My guest today is Dawn Knight. Welcome, Dawn.
Hi.
Dawn, I have known you for quite a long time and decades.
Yes.
I think just after you came here from Appalachia. Is that right?
Yes. Yes. I moved from West Virginia. I'm a graduate of what was Fairmont State College, but now it's Fairmont State University. So they're FSU and their colors are maroon and gold. So it's a little confusing sometimes.
Well, West Virginia sometimes gets a bad rap um, as being a poor area. Um, Hillbilly is a term that's sometimes used. But tell us what it was like to be in West Virginia.
Well, it's definitely a poor area. That was one of the major reasons why I moved down here. But I think that there's a misnomer. It may have been this way years ago, but now there are really a lot of educated people who that and a lot of artisans in the community. So I remember my earliest forays into artistry was at a local fair. It was called the Stonewall Jackson Jubilee Fair, and I won art contests there, and I met other artists, and it was an exciting time for me to realize that there were people who did that.
And so this is when you were young.
Yes, yeah, when I was a teenager.
And did you think then, oh, I'm going to be an artist?
I did, although I took kind of an unusual path about it. But yes, I did. I did think I want to be an artist, but when I got into college, I realized that with an art degree, you the most likely job would be to become an art teacher, and I knew that I was not well suited to be a teacher. So I studied graphic arts and fine art and a little bit of architecture, and then I took one theater appreciation class, and that was it. So I spent the rest of my time in college studying theater and costume design. So,
Did you attend theater in West Virginia?
I did. The theater, the community that I was in had was very active theater program, and then Morgantown also has an active theater program, and then you just go a little further north in Pittsburgh. So we would go to those things, and really. Most of the communities I was involved with, I can't speak for all of them, they had pretty active community theaters, which were not professional, but there was definitely a love for theater.
And did you do costume design there?
I did. One of my first big shows was Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
So did you create a multicolored dream coat?
Actually, no, we outsourced that because it was very complicated. But I made a whole lot of harem girls and guard costumes and things like that.
All right, but you thought there was more opportunities here in Central Florida, the home of many theme parks.
Well, that and the fact that my brother and his and my sister had both moved down here to find work, and so I wanted to. They were all starting families, and I wanted to be part of that life.
All right. So you moved down, and was it what you expected it to be?
Well, I mean, I think I kind of found success where my brother was saying, you just need to get a job at McDonald's. And I was like, no, I'm going to actually look for a job. And I opened up the phone book. That was back when they had phone books. And I went to any place that had theater or entertainment in their title and started applying for jobs. So that's how I found my first jobs. And I've never worked for McDonald's. I've changed fields, but I've never, had a job that was not, that I knew was be a dream killer. So.
All right. And back home in West Virginia, so you lived in a city there?
My hometown was Weston, West Virginia, but I lived in Fairmont, is where I went to college and experienced a lot of theater stuff.
So you left friends behind and came, but you had some family here.
I did, yeah. So, and I'm still in touch with a few of the friends from up there. So I've had some, of course, you moved to Florida and they want to come to Disney World and stay with you for free. So I've had that a few times, more so in the past than now, but yeah.
And how did you find Central Florida as far as a place to make friends, etc.?
Oh, I loved it. I felt very welcome here. I mean, there was hardship in the beginning just because I moved here with 6 suitcases and a 8-year-old. So it was there was some hardship there, but I found good support and more opportunities. I would have to say that in the telephone book, the places that listed entertainment and theater in my hometown, it was a pretty short list. So,
is a longer list here?
No, much longer list. Yes.
All right. And since you've been here now for several decades, what have been some of the highlights in the arts and culture?
Oh, highlights. The only thing that springs to mind is I worked with Robin Olson as a costumer on a show where I'm going to forget King Lear, where all the women or all the parts were played by women. I thought that was a highlight. I don't know if that was a highlight on the spectrum, but it was for me.
And is there anything that you would say from your West Virginia heritage that you bring with you here or that you miss?
I miss the mountains. It's really a very beautiful place. But here in Florida, it's like there's a West Virginia Day where it's sort of like a family reunion and everybody from West Virginia gets together, and has like a picnic. So I haven't missed that. Plus the fact that my brother and sister were both here. So that gave me some family. But I do miss the mountains. So West Virginia is a very beautiful place and it would be a lovely place to own a vacation home.
Do a lot of people come to the West Virginia Day here?
The last one I went to, I haven't been in a couple of years. It was probably about 60 people. So it moves around different places. So it's not always convenient to me. So.
Okay. Well, cool. Is there anything that you miss that we don't have here that besides mountains?
Well, in the festivals in West Virginia, they have some, or the festival that I went to the most, they had bluegrass music, and it wasn't necessarily the stuff that was on stage, but they would have all these jam sessions out and around in the encampment, and that I miss a lot. I don't like listening to bluegrass music on the radio, but I love the live interaction of the artist, and just not that I play an instrument, but being part of it, just as being in person there.
What do you think the difference is on the radio? Just that you're not as engaged in it?
Well, so you can see the artists reacting to each other, and it's a very, I guess, improv-like, because they're not necessarily doing a set piece of music, and they may go from one thing to the other, and you just see the joy on their face, So that's
cool. Well, I think you found a good place here in Central Florida. We welcome you here, although you've been here for decades. And, thank you for conversing with me today.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching this edition of Diverse Orange.